Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's episode is from Entitled Parents. There's only going to be 2 stories today because the second one is quite long and it's a follow-up to a story that I remember having read in the past. They do provide a link if you want to go back and read their original story, but I do remember reading this one a couple weeks ago. Story 1 is by Pinoy White Chick. Entitled Mom Doesn't Want Me Seen at the Hospital. 1 week ago, I, 23 female, had a bilateral tonsillectomy and adenoidectomy. This morning I woke up coughing up heavy amounts of blood. Per my discharge papers, I called my ENT and he told me to come in and see him right away. See him, not go to the ER, etc. Basin in hand, because I'm still coughing up blood periodically, I got a lift to the hospital. I get to the ENT office and check in. I notice when I get there that there is a mother there with 4 children. 1 is an infant she's carrying and 2 are toddlers who are being minded by a teen. I found this odd because it's 10 a.m. on a Friday. They should be at school. The toddlers are running around being chaotic and the mom is yelling at the teen that she needs to take care of them. I'm in the waiting room for less than 5 minutes before they come to bring me back. Coughing up blood is a good way to get seen quickly. The mom goes wild and goes off at the receptionist while standing between me and the nurse trying to bring me back. What the heck? I've been waiting for over an hour. Why does she get to go straight back? Ma'am, you've been here for 15 minutes. She's seeing a different doctor than you. Her need is urgent. You're just here for an exam. I don't care. Can't you see how restless my kids are getting? She's an adult. She can wait. This was when the nurse went around her and pulled me in. Some people are just like that, though. I was here first. I get to go in first. They don't understand the process where if somebody's life is in danger, they go in first. Down in the comments by Maleficent Theory 818. I hope you're feeling better. That mom deserves to stay in the waiting room with her hooligans extra long. Under that by the OP, thank you. I'm back home and doing better now. Further down in the comments by Lost in Space Lock. Nah. They would just make the staff and other patients miserable. Make her wait outside if her crotch goblins can't behave. You guys would be blown away by how many people on Reddit refer to children that behave badly as crotch goblins. Because the good kids are seen as little angels, actual little angels, and the parents that think that they can do no wrong and have kids that are running around screaming and try to get their teenager to tend to their kids, yeah, those are crotch goblins. And story 2 today is the long one by mdizzle19. Update 2, my parents don't like my boyfriend, so they gave me an ultimatum. The original post is linked here, and they gave the link. Hi everyone, updating you all on this long-awaited resolution. After many more hurtful texts from my parents that says they can't accept my partner and that it doesn't matter if he's a good fit for me, if he's not a good fit for my family, then it's never going to work out, I went over in person to meet with them and pick up my legal documents. They made it clear that my boyfriend was not welcome and that this was a family matter they needed to speak with only me about. Clear manipulation, obviously. So I went alone. I'm on my way. I know what I think and how I feel. I'm very sure of what I plan on saying. Thanks to Reddit, I have additional confirmation that I'm not crazy or wrong or a bad person, but they are in fact in the wrong. It was strange walking into your parents' house and feeling like you're meeting strangers. Kind of felt like having a 26-year-long relationship and being broken up via text, then having to go pick up your stuff and memories from your ex's house, except that ex is your parents. After about an hour of small talk, we got into the nitty-gritty convo about the elephant in the room. A previous text that week had said, "We don't expect you to change your mind, we just want to talk." But it's clear that this in-person meeting was a last-ditch attempt to shake me from my reality into theirs. They came at me from every angle. He's not a man's man, Dad. I don't respect him, Dad. I hate him. He's taking away the most precious thing in our life. How could you not hate someone like that, Dad? Even at some point physically threatening him. My mom was either agreeing or adding little tidbits and reminders of things she doesn't like about him. Some of which are things I mentioned in my previous post about when I went to meet his family and didn't see her and my dad too. Mentioning also that she doesn't like that I made the first move to talk to my boyfriend and not the other way around. You get the gist. It was all out war on my boyfriend. They tell me I'm depriving them of a son-in-law. They say he is selfish for not breaking up with me years ago when he realized that my parents didn't like him. They even just started blindly throwing out shots like, I don't even know if he has any friends. Like, what the heck, Mom and Dad? Of course you don't know about him because you've made me keep my relationship out of earshot for 6 years. But I digress. It ends up being a 3-hour-long conversation where I spoke for all of maybe 5 minutes with my heart rate at 150 the whole time. Thanks for reminding me of that Apple Watch. They also don't fail to mention a few other shining points, such as, we knew you would put this on us. This is not an ultimatum. We are just reacting to your decision and choices, was their reply to me saying, this is not my choice. This is an ultimatum you've given me, and neither my boyfriend or I want this. We knew you would make us the bad guys because we're not Team Boyfriend's name. Any of your friends and family who say we will come around or it will get better is lying to you and saying what you want to hear. They asked me why they should like or be impressed with my boyfriend. I told them various accolades. Dad replied with, education doesn't impress me. I told them how wonderful he was through some of the toughest times in my life, college, and how he supported and kept me sane when even my parents were coming down on me about how I wasn't doing enough. They said, that's what any boyfriend would do. No, Mom and Dad, it's not. And the two of you certainly were making me feel way worse that entire time. They said because my boyfriend's dad helped him get through school by paying his tuition that he's had everything in his life handed to him. Dad said, I think your mom is having an epiphany about who you're becoming. Like I'm some monster. They said, we feel like you're not listening to us because I'm not just blindly agreeing to break up with my boyfriend. Dad said, this kind of thing happens all the time, as if that makes it normal or justified. At the end, I have to break the news that in between all of the hurtful texts and prior to this meeting, my boyfriend and I signed a lease and moved in together. Nothing they were going to say was going to sway me otherwise. Even they said that. So we had taken the leap and made the move this weekend before this meeting. I was commuting about 20 to 30 minutes before the move, and my commute is the same after the move. Only difference is we now live in the same city that my boyfriend, new attorney with crazy early and late hours, works in. Believe me, I had all kinds of requirements prior to this move. It has to be safe, have in-unit washer and dryer, safe parking, etc. And it's only for a year or two while we save money so we can buy a home. Contrary to my parents' belief, I'm capable of rational decisions. I tell them first that we signed the lease and where it is. You know, to try to lighten the blow that I'm outright disobeying them. They start going off about how, oh, of course, making it easy on him again. They saw me always going to my boyfriend's house as me catering to him, even though the only reason was because we were never comfortable being together at their house. Then of course he became essentially banished. So they see this move as me being some smitten teenage idiot, not about how this is a relationship with compromise. They tell me that my commute is going to be brutal and that I'm lying to myself if I think it's not. Again, I've already been doing it for a week. I know it's not any worse. It's a prettier drive even. But it's clear that I can't slowly ease into it and I have to just rip off the Band-Aid because they are straight up just wrong and trying to convince me that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I say, I've already been doing it for a week. We moved in last weekend. They are just dumbfounded. Lol. Like I thought you guys said you weren't planning on changing my mind, so why so surprised that I just went ahead and made my choice? My mom starts crying. My dad keeps saying, you effed up, kid. It's about 10 p.m. at this point, so now that they know I have a slightly longer drive home, they are kind of sweeping me out the door so I can get home before it gets too much later. My mom gives me this big, sobbing hug. At this point, I've run out of tears. I was crying throughout the entire conversation, but at this point was just over the BS. My dad, who rarely even tells me he loves me, gives me this awkward, desperate hug, too, that kind of made me roll my eyes. I get in the car and drive home just totally exhausted and confused. Truthfully, they did a good job of, again, making me question my own thoughts and choices. But I get home and just start spilling everything they said to my boyfriend. He's not surprised, but as I said in my last post, He remains Swiss in all of this and doesn't say anything crappy about them. He just holds me close and lets me vent. Something else that came up during our lovely 3-hour discussion was my anxiety. I have previously shared with him that I think they are a huge source of it and have been throughout my childhood as well. Prior discussions have always gone nowhere. You had it so easy, we don't ask that much of you, etc. Clearly not listening to me. So I brought it up again in this discussion, how my parents are a huge source of anxiety and my boyfriend is a calm rock in all of it, that I'm so grateful he's such a great partner. My dad screams at me how he never laid an effing hand on me and how he was physically disciplined as a child, and that he can't own that they could have anything to do with me being an anxious person. He even says, "You need effing therapy." Like, yes, Dad, thank you, I sure do, and also F you. He also said, "I have a hard time swallowing that I have anything to do with your anxiety. You're gonna have to work out those demons with yourself." All of this to say, the answer you've all waited for is that I moved in with my boyfriend, am keeping my mom and dad at arm's length, and also have started therapy. It's 26 years of emotional abuse and narcissism to unpack and learn from, but I'm working through it. The guilt tripping and lack of boundaries is so real and has been so real for forever. I know my situation isn't as bad as others, and is also worse than others, but for all of you out there in similar situations, seek therapy. It is a really good thing. There's so much behavior to unlearn and grow from. Even if you don't think it's bad and that you're doing fine, see a therapist if you can. Your abusers have learned behavior too. They have learned how to get to you and how to manipulate you, whether it's vindictive or not. They have learned how to make you do what they want and think what they think, and then they know how to make you feel horrible about doing anything differently. Seek counsel and family and friends whose advice you trust. Seek therapy, and above all, trust yourself. I still get very emotional about all of this, and it's still a very fresh wound. I mourn the relationship I had with my mom and the one I will never have with my dad. My health is definitely suffering at the moment from all of the stress, but I'm working on getting my mental health back, and I know my body will follow. Breaking the wheel is hard and terrifying. It's like being a crate-trained puppy forever and finally being allowed to go outside, but outside is unknown. The crate is all you know, and even though you know the crate is confining and freedom is in front of you, it's all so unfamiliar, uncertain, and frightening. You know what's behind you, and it's easy to want to run back into it. But no matter what is in front of you, it's better than the crate. The crate is not living for yourself, it's living for someone else. So go out and make your own life. I hope this story can help someone else out there like me who's seeking validation about their feelings and situation. Thank you again to all the Redditors who shared their thoughtful insight and advice. It truly got me through the most difficult days of my life. Back when OP was saying that I know my situation isn't as bad as others and it's also worse than some others, your situation is all relative. You can have a life that millions of people would envy, and it can still be terrible to you. It's all relative. But yeah, OP offers some really good advice on telling people that you should seek therapy if you get the chance. It's to unload burdens that you carry. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have a stress-free day.